Welcome to the Literally First Class podcast, where I will teach you how to overcome anxiety and achieve somatic success. I'm your host, Keri Ford. I'm a somatic success and holistic life coach here to bring humor, insight, and wisdom to the modern day woman that wants to feel alive in her daily life. You ready? Come on, I saved you a seat in first class. So I kind of took a week off the podcast, but it was by accident because I totally forgot to record an episode. Usually we're doing like 2 or 3 in a sitting. I'll record like a bunch, like batch record. But last week was a week. We were back from spring break. My ex-husband and I have had kind of a different shuffling of schedules with the kids because he had travel and we flipped weeks. And then my daughter brought home Lice from school, so I was basically in panic mode. In addition, she was home a couple days with allergies, one day with him, one day with us. What else happened? Oh, I got a new phone, so I usually record these episodes on my phone. Anyway, it's been a fucking week, y'all, and I feel like I have psychosomatic lice now because I am so paranoid that I'm going to get it, and it was horrifying. I felt so bad. I've never seen lice, and I didn't really know what it looks like. I had to Google it. But, you know, she had these little, what looked like pieces of dandruff in her hair. But the thing that indicated to me that it was not dandruff was they were all the same size, and it felt like there might be a pattern in the hair. So that was really weird and interesting, and I just took note. But I saw no bugs, kept going through it, and it's like they're so tiny. And I'm like, okay, either my eyesight is going or I can't like see what the hell this is, but they're called nits. Anyway, later I learned those are eggs. And I was going through her hair, like parting it, and she asked me to braid her hair because we were going to go to the nail salon, and I see a bug move. I freaked out. Actually, I first found one on my leg next to her brush after I put it on my lap. And I'm like, what is that? And then next I'm combing through and I see another one. And then I scream and then she screams and then she gets all frazzled. You know, she's mirroring my nervous system. And I'm like, it's okay. It's okay. We're going to get in the bath. So we did an apple cider vinegar rinse, which like, I guess cleans it out. But like I didn't have any lice treatment. I go to the store. I run out. I tell Jake too, like, we need to get some stuff. So in between coaching calls, I go get Nix. Well, I called the nursing line at the doctor's office and they told me that, you know, don't waste your time with Nix. It doesn't necessarily kill the eggs. And so in 10 days, this could all be back again. I'm like, oh, great. That's fun. So I still had done Nix at that point, but then I got a third treatment, which was the ivermectin. I guess it's the generic. So this is for those of you that have ever had lice with your kids, or if you want to keep it on hand, it's like one of those things that you're like, I don't know why I need this in my house, but like you need this in your house in case. Trust me. Ivermectin is the generic version of what's called Sklice, Sklice. That was actually really hard to find. I think either pharmacies were out of it. They used to sell it by prescription only, but now it's OTC, it's over the counter. And so you can find it, and the generic version is ivermectin. It actually is so weird. So Nix was more like an oil, and you comb it through. And so I did the best I could. I spent over an hour probably combing through her hair to get everything out. It wasn't too bad, but like, oh my God, side note is just the idea of it. Just, I feel itchy thinking about it. And then the ivermectin is really weird because that's not an oil. It's a cream. It feels like hydrocortisone cream, and it looks like that. And you coat it on her hair like for 10 minutes. You let it sit, and then you just rinse it out. So that was kind of challenging because her hair was basically matted and almost impossible to brush. Plus, I like threw everything away. You don't have to do that. You can put things in plastic bags for a certain amount of time, and then it kills off the eggs. But the whole thing is just, there's this like stigma that goes with lice as well. We were like, it just feels dirty and disgusting. And I'm an Enneagram 1, so this triggered like all sorts of wanting to clean everything. Anyway, so that was my week. How about yours? Aside from that, my team and I have been really busy with Some fun things, we're around a cadence of every other week right now with the newsletter. It certainly is taking me a little longer to kind of get into the rhythm of writing those, but I've gotten such great feedback. We already got a couple emails back, people sharing them with friends or writing back like, I love this. This is so great. And these are much more, they're much more in depth. They're far beyond the character count that I can provide on Instagram, which is only 2,200 characters, which seems like a lot, but apparently I have a lot to say. And especially when you're teaching or you want to break things down in a logical way or a step-by-step way, like that's what the newsletters are. Plus, if you're on the VIP email list, you'll already get the newsletter, but you're going to hear about events that I have first. And you guys have heard me talk about this on podcasts. Like, if you don't go first, you miss out. So we have the Champagne Club that has just opened up public sales for tickets June 28th and 29th. But here's what's different about that. And then I'll talk to you more about some other events. But if you're on the email list, you're going to get the news on what the latest events are. And so this particular Champagne Club dinner will be our second female founders event. It's female founders, executives, entrepreneurs, investors that are welcome to this event. And we're not doing a qualifier, a financial qualifier, or proof of income. But, make sure it's a room that you want to be in, right? That you want to be stretched, you want to elevate in. And, that's what I'll leave it at, because I really want everyone to feel like they belong. They get to vote themselves into circles. Anytime I have been in rooms that have been stretchy, it's been a really good thing for me. Having my mind expanded in ways that I didn't know were possible because I didn't know they were possible, because I hadn't met those people and had those conversations yet. And all it takes is a single conversation to really provide a shift in everything. Like a 1 degree change can change the trajectory of your entire path and direction. So, keep that in mind. But this Champagne Club Q2, it's June 28th and 29th. And here's what's different. So last time we just did the luxury dinner, which was awesome. And the biggest feedback we got was like, oh, it's only a dinner. Like, this is amazing. And I would totally do this again. And women were like, I would literally pay $15,000 a year to be part of this room and to do it like 4 times a year. We do like 1 a quarter. And I was like, cool, that's really good feedback. And so, I'm taking all of this into consideration and bringing it into my team for feedback. But they also just wanted more time together in that specific event. And so while we had, the opportunity to shoot with my brand photographer and other people booked like VIP one-on-one deep dive sessions with me, the consensus was like, we all wanted to we wish we could have spent more time together getting to know even more people, because there were like 30 of us. That's quite a lot. And so what we decided to do for this event, Q2, that's slightly different, is we still have the dinner at 6 o'clock here in Atlanta on the 28th of June. It's a Friday night. But the next morning, I get to teach a leadership legacy workshop, which I'm so excited for, from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. Saturday morning on the 29th. And I cannot wait to do that because in my experience, these have been things that are also very nourishing and can create such like a value add, but also deeper connection. And it's included this time with the ticket. So you will get the opportunity to do that. And then those of you that are coming into town that want to make it a weekend, what I often have found works the best, not only for myself having attended events like this in the past, but also what worked really well last time was people could tack on what they did or didn't want to do after or before. So let's say they had a one-on-one with me, they could tack it on or as a bookend to their trip. Or if they were staying, in town with some other friends, they could add on a lunch. So you can really make it what you want. But we've added an optional sunset pool party at a private residence here in Atlanta because, it's like summertime. So unless it thunderstorms or rain, in which case we will have a plan B, we're going to have a pool party and it's going to be so much fun. And that's just going to be for additional networking, spending time together on Saturday night. So it's optional. You can choose the upgrade when you check out with your ticket. We'll make sure that we have the link for the Q2 Champagne Club ticket event here in the comments and the show notes. But you can add that on if you plan on staying in town. And I would totally do it if you can, because those are the things that make, it could be a conversation you have that you wouldn't have had otherwise. This episode is presented by Cenegenics. I recently partnered with the leader in the performance health age management industry, Cenegenics. Today's healthcare system is made to treat people with health problems, not prevent them. And that is where Cenegenics comes in. They are the world's best age management health solution, fueled by sophisticated data, advanced technology like the Brainwavy and the DEXA scan I mentioned, and metabolic science. This is for busy women at the peak of their career who also want to achieve peak performance, both cognitively and physically, using a physician-led program that is completely custom to your history, biomarkers, and needs. They've helped more than 49,000 executives, just like me and you, elevate health, reduce stress, and optimize body composition. So we not only look good, but we feel good at any age and any level of leadership. As a brand partner, Cenegenics is offering listeners a free 10-minute consultation to see if the Performance Health program is your next step in elite health. Use my link below in the show notes to book. And so that's Saturday night. But also, if you are a host of a podcast or you would like to be on more podcasts, many women in this space are extremely successful. They have like 2%, 1% level podcasts. Maybe they want to start a podcast. Maybe they want to be on more stages or practice speaking more if they're an executive. But this is your opportunity, again, to get in a real recording studio here in Atlanta. We're going to help you book that out. And then you guys can come together. We have a private members group for the Champagne Club members, and you guys can organize like who is going to be interviewing who on whose podcast. And it's so much fun. Jake and I did this for his book launch last year in Vegas. And so he was on James Silvas's podcast. We were on our friend Cam McDougall and Ryan Miller's podcast. My friend Tori Gordon, who has an incredible podcast. I was with Blue Wire Media, I think. Anyway, just some really high level podcasts. And so Jake, we went to Vegas specifically to be on some of these podcasts, and basically everyone just traded. So it was like, hey, I've got a podcast, you've got a podcast, let's swap. And it was really fun to switch mics, and collectively over I think there were 6 or 7 entrepreneurs total. I think collectively we filmed and recorded 20 to 25 episodes of content in just 3 or 4 days. It was exhausting and so much fun and so nourishing. And the coolest part that we all agreed on, because we were having dinners and lunches and, stuff in between, was that one podcast episode compounded upon the next one. And then the next one built upon the last one. And it was just so much fun that it was this continual deepening and expansion, one upon the other. It was so organic, almost like a thread or a series of podcast episodes, but all of them are on different podcasts with all different people among the 8 of us that did it. My friend Krista Johnson was there. So anyway, it was so much fun. And I just thought, wow, what a really cool opportunity to invite that kind of experience for anyone coming to Atlanta for the Champagne Club. While you're here, while you're together, why not create some content? So lots of opportunities for magic, and you get to hang out with me, which is really cool. I get to build these rooms. I get to bring my network together and bring it into your world and make it your net worth. And so I'll put the link below in the show notes. But if you think you want to come, tickets are already selling because I introduced this to my members first. It's been on our newsletter. We've already introduced this to the previous Champagne Club members, and now we're publicly opening ticket sales. And we are going to close doors at 30, and we sold out last time. So make sure that you grab that. The other thing you might have seen is the Made for More retreat. So don't miss out on that. I'm not going to spend a ton of time talking about it right now. If you're getting the newsletter, awesome. If you're not, subscribe to that. Make sure that you check out those events. But this is our luxury retreat. It's a very small, intimate, exclusive retreat on the island of Grenada. And I've rented a 7-acre exclusive estate that's actually female owned, which I think is so fucking badass. And apparently she is stoked that we're going there. It's the first women's leadership retreat. And my hope is that this is the start of a beautiful partnership where this becomes the place that we go to for these beautiful immersions. I mean, it has 3 infinity pools. There's a fucking pillow menu. There's a pillow menu. What does that mean? It means you can order the pillow that you want every night before bed. You could change it if you want to. What? That's amazing. So anyway, I don't like to just do normal events. I like to fucking do events. Really do them in a way that I would want and expect, especially because I have traveled the world. I've stayed at some of the best places in the world. I've thrown some of the most amazing events, and I have high expectations. And so my hope is to not only meet yours, but exceed them. So just a few things in our world, a few updates going on. So yeah, that's been my week in a nutshell. And I'm also reevaluating kind of the direction of this podcast. I love that these are solo episodes. That still feels really good to me. I've never wanted to commit to doing like guest podcasts on the reg. I don't want it to be this expectation. It's a whole other thing to manage, let me tell you, because I've been on the other side of it. I've been on nearly 70, maybe more podcasts at this point. I think I've asked to be on like 2 of them. And I'll tell you, like, it's hard for myself and my team to promote them unless the host of the podcast is providing all the audio clips, all the graphics, tagging me and stuff. Like, I never go hunting usually for the podcast episode, and neither does my team. So unless that's happening on their end, it's not going to happen on our end. And so that's what I would expect to deliver to my guests, right? Audio clips, production worthy reels, graphics, things that they can share. And it's just not something that I really see myself doing. There's some people that are called to have a podcast that's more like a talk show. I don't feel inclined to do that. I might take this into a studio and kind of level up the production and the video quality and all that just because it's super fun. But yeah, that's really, where I'm at with that. I really love the solo episodes. But I'm curious what you want to hear more of from me. I've been doing a lot of different types of episodes. We've had the couples episodes, couples edition with Jake and I, which I do need to get him back. I think those are so fun. I think you guys enjoy those. I've been doing Q&A episodes where people in my private Facebook group or that send emails or that we've gotten in like coaching calls ask me that they think would be helpful and I think would be useful for you. I create episodes entirely around questions. So if you've got questions, email us at hello@elevatewithkeri.com. And we're happy to answer those because I can make an entire episode based on questions you ask because you want to know. So it's really fun because you get coaching with Keri through the podcast. We've also done, when you feel like you're stuck in flight response, I got some great feedback on that, like what to do. So yes, there's life ramblings and rumblings and things like that I think you guys enjoy. And I love sharing with you because it's just off the cuff. But also I'm wanting to go a little deeper with adding value and kind of a more concise theme throughout the Literally First Class podcast. So we're open to feedback. Shoot us some ideas. Let us know what you want to hear. Let me know what you're wondering. And we would love to answer questions and just increase the value of the time that you're already spending with me on the podcast. Thank you so much for being here, by the way. You could choose to listen to a million podcasts, and I always love hearing when people are like, I listened to your podcast this week, or I can't wait till the next episode comes out. It makes my heart so happy because I know that we have this relationship and I get to be in your ear, and I find that to be very special, and I'm super grateful that you're here. So, if you're finding that you're listening to it every week, subscribe, share this with somebody that you think could get value too. And I love that you're here, and I want to make it better. So yeah, there might be some changes. We'll see. We'll see what that looks like. But in the meantime, in gratitude, I'll see you on the next podcast. Keep it first class. I hope you enjoyed your flight, and I'll see you on board again soon. Seriously, though, thanks for listening. If you're ready to take this work deeper and upgrade your mind, I want to invite you to join us inside my Millionaire Mindset program. This is where you'll start using my guided meditations to help you overcome anxiety and experience even more abundance. When you join, you'll have access to my entire audio library. Head over to elevatewithkeri.com and we'll see you inside.